and on her end, it's unmuted. Would you try speaking again, Senator Blackburn? Let's see if we can fix that audio.
Yes, absolutely. Are you hearing me now?
We can hear you, Senator. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. And I do thank you for the hearing. As you all know, and with our witnesses, you all have heard from us for years on this issue of deployment. And Mr. Powell, I want to come to you first. When you look at all the money that has gone out through the infrastructure bill, through CARES, through the American Rescue Plan, all of this money that is out there for broadband, and you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. And then in Tennessee, our state General Assembly put another $100 million in behind grants for broadband. So it seems like the funds are there, but yet we continue to hear these low population areas, they're having trouble getting people to come in and do that last mile to reach these homes where there is less population per mile. So I'd like for you to just help me to look at this. What else do you need when it comes to connecting these areas, and why is the hesitation there when there seems to be so much money there? What are we missing on this?
Yeah, Senator, thank you for the question. Obviously, money is critical because these are very cost-prohibitive areas, but it's not in and of itself enough. One of the problems we run into, we've discussed with others today, is the complexity of permitting in these parts of the country. A lot of these examples include crossing federal lands. Very often, more than one federal agency will claim the authority for issuing those permits. There's no lead entity that a carrier can go to resolve those conflicts. Those fees, those permits often require very exorbitant access fees that vary from one federal program to the other. Not that we don't hack our way through this process, but it literally can add years and years to a commitment to build.
Yeah. It is a frustration to many of our county mayors who are trying to get this done. And I visit with all 95 of our county mayors in Tennessee every year. Mr. Spalter, weigh in on the same question, if you will, please.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to answer that question, Senator. I agree with Mr. Powell that the challenges that are that come with onerous, slow, and absolutely cumbersome permitting challenges are manifold, and we need to address them square on if we are going to be able to provide access to often our hardest to reach rural and unserved and underserved communities. It is incumbent on us as an industry to continue to put our shoulder towards this problem, but we're not going to be able to solve it alone. We have to be able to work with this body, with the federal government, and also with state and localities to ensure that there's going to be a greater consensus of making broadband service more accessible and more efficiently, more quickly, by lowering the barriers that come with permitting challenges.
All right, let me ask you this. Talking about barriers, when Alan Davidson was before us, I had asked him about some of the labor laws and practices, and if they were going to require areas to implement those when it's a state like Tennessee that's a right-to-work state. That is one of those barriers. So how do you see that playing out?
Let me take a stab at that if I can, Senator, and it's a very important question. I'll start by saying that some of our providers are amongst the largest employers of labor in the United States of America. That said, the IIJA recognizes that broadband funding programs should not be subject to Davis-Bacon regulations. We believe that NTIA should scrupulously follow the intent and spirit of the law without any hesitation. And this applies not only to Davis-Bacon, but also to the middle-class subsidy requirement that has been advanced by NTIA, I think outside of the spirit of the IIHF.
Mr. Powell, anything to add to that?
No, I think Mr. Spalter categorized right. It isn't a war between whether, good employee protections or not are valuable. It's the amount of skilled labor available. By our measures, even before this program, there was a need for some 850,000 new skilled workers in this space. These additional requirements only complicate that pool.
Okay, and I know Senator Thune asked you all about the 100 programs over 15 agencies, which is an area of concern for us. You kind of batted around a little bit on that. So I would like a written response from you all, Mr. Spalter and Mr. Powell, to talk a little bit about what you see as a way to do some streamlining to speed up this broadband deployment and get to the heart of connectivity. So if you would do that and submit it for the record, that would be excellent. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Certainly.
Thank you, Senator Blackburn. Next, we will hear from Senator Klobuchar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you to the witnesses. Just yesterday,